What's going on, everybody? Steve here with Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, joined with my main man,
Roma the Roamer.
And welcome to day number 3. You made it. Hopefully, you got through day 1 and they signed up for their account, right?
Yep.
If they didn't, what do they have to do right now?
You gotta go back and sign up for your account.
Go sign up for your Amazon Seller Central account. We shared with you, the free guide to be able to do that. In day number 2, we walked you through the process of all the different tools and supplies that you're gonna need to be able to sell books on Amazon. So we literally shared with you our printers, we shared with you, the Goo-Gone, we shared with you the barcode scanner, which we're gonna be going deep into, the labels, go-to lister, oh, he's got it, he's rocking it. And remember, guys, if you haven't gotten your free 14-day trial to go-to lister, start using it. I'm telling you right now, yes, you can use Amazon Seller Central for free, but it's slow as a son of a gun. And I can promise you, you're not gonna enjoy selling books and you're not gonna scale your business if you don't have a fast way to be able to list, process, and ship books, okay? So the plan for today, I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun one. So what we're gonna be discussing today, as you can see, we've got a bunch of books on the dining room table. We've got our coffee, cheers, day number 3.
Coffee number 6.
Yep, coffee number 6. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their day. We're gonna cover how to set up your barcode scanner, okay?
That's the hardest part of this whole business.
Yeah,
Getting
that barcode scanner set up. We're gonna discuss how to analyze books using Scout IQ, which is our software that we're using, how to analyze deals. We're gonna talk about some beginner pricing, tips and strategies. We're gonna discuss, what is the buy box and how to determine what the price should be. We're gonna discuss what's sales rank. We're gonna discuss what's eScore. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking, what in the world is he talking about? eScore? What are we playing, a basketball game? We keeping score? No, this actually keeps track of how fast your items are gonna sell, okay? We're also gonna discuss offer count and how that's really important and relevant to the discussion of what you should price items at, if it has a good chance of price tanking. We're gonna discuss the difference between, and there's my barcode scanner. That's your sign, you better sign up for an Amazon account. We're gonna talk a little bit about mistakes and, just some of the things that you should avoid doing when you're analyzing books. So this is gonna be, a pretty in-depth tutorial. So Avery, do you want to, we are screen sharing my phone, so they should be able to see the phone right now. So editor, let's put the screen in the corner so everybody can see. But let's go ahead and discuss first and foremost, how does the Natamu link up with the phone, if you want to share?
That's the hardest part, man. So what you want to do, you want me to show like the settings and stuff?
You don't have to go too in depth. Just share like you have to turn Bluetooth on, whatever you want.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's do it.
So what you're gonna do is you'll click this blue button here and it'll actually start blinking if you've never set it up before. And then go to Bluetooth on your phone here. If you're Android, same process. And you should see it come up as, what does this come up as on your phone? Scanner 8216. So it's gonna be scanner something on your phone. Click on that device, it's gonna connect. If you have issues, go to our Facebook community, go to Steve's Facebook community. Go to any Facebook community and say, hey, I'm having trouble connecting my scanner. People help you out, but it should be a really simple process. That should get you set up. Once you connect this, your phone thinks that this is a keyboard. Your phone believes
that's the annoying part.
Yeah, it's an annoying part. And here's a pro tip: if you double tap this, it'll temporarily disconnect it. So if you ever want to send a text message to a loved one, you won't be able to as long as this is connected. So double tap this, and that's a pro tip. Anyway, so now this is connected, and so everything I scan is going to feed into the phone. So it doesn't matter if I'm in my Gmail app, my Notes app, a text message, or Scout IQ. This is going to input whatever I scan into there. So make sure you got Scout IQ open because the whole purpose is to scan books. And now what we're going to do is we're going to scan this barcode. Boom, like that. It's going to throw it in here, and it's going to come out with the price. Remember, alternatively, you can use the camera of the phone to scan here. This is a great way to start out. But if you care about speed and you want to really, go through books fast, especially, I'm going to show you guys a method in a second. When you have books on a shelf, you should be able to scan 500 to 1,000 books per hour. And remember, even if only 1% of the books are good, that's 5 to 10 books every hour. Is that right? 500 to 1,000? 5 to 10 books?
That's a lot of books, baby.
Yeah, 10 books per hour at $4 to $10 profit, obviously you're making close to $100 profit per hour. So, but we'll teach you techniques on how to get more profitable books per hour, 5-10% profit if you really select your sources correctly. So,
and could I jump in and mention one thing? Now this is a little, I guess it's somewhat high level. There's one thing to consider when it comes to using Scout IQ. There are also other apps as well. There's an app called Scoutly that folks use as well. It's a little less inexpensive, but I've been using Scout IQ my whole life. I love Scout IQ. It's my favorite. Are you using Scout IQ?
Yeah, Scout IQ all day. Scout IQ for life, baby.
Exactly. And I use Scout IQ with the Amazon seller app, so they're two different apps. So just to be clear, like GoToLister has nothing to do with Scout IQ. Scout IQ has nothing to do with Amazon. Now, obviously, your Amazon account integrates with all of them, but just know these are different apps with different goals.
Yeah.
But one thing to keep in mind is, you see how it's saying green? Can you scan another item for us?
Yep.
Let's see what it says. So this is actually giving us red right here. And the reason is because based on the price that we're going to sell the item for, and we'll talk a lot more about this, it thinks we're only going to sell it for $10.41. So after fees and everything, we're only going to make 36 cents profit. So the point I wanted to make, and this is one thing I wanted to share with folks, and we'll share with you guys some resources for you to learn more about this, but talk about custom triggers and how this knows what's good, what's bad.
Yeah, so there's two things that matter when selling on Amazon. There's a lot more than two things, but two primary things you care about when selling any item on Amazon, and that is, does the book sell? Does the item sell? If it doesn't sell, it doesn't matter how profitable it is or what the price is, because you won't get sales. So number one, does it sell? What's the sales velocity? Harry Potter sells thousands of times every hour on Amazon, but it's not that profitable. So you want it to sell often, and you want it to sell for a profit. If you get those two things down, you have a business. So our whole goal here is not only to tell you the profit, but also tell you the sales velocity. So do you want to talk a little bit about sales rank versus eScore? Because that's really what's going to break that down for people.
Yeah, I do. But one thing I did want to mention as well is there's something called custom triggers. These are rules that we were talking about.
Yep.
I recommend if you're brand new, just use the custom triggers that are right out of the box.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really go deep into that. I don't want to confuse them too much, but there's basically different sales rank ranges, which if a sales rank is 1, that means it's the top selling book on Amazon. If a sales rank is 100, that means it's the 100th best sales rank on Amazon. 100,000, still pretty good for books. There's tons of books on Amazon. There's millions of books on Amazon. So 100,000 mean at that given moment, that is the 100,000th fastest selling book on Amazon. So really, like under a million rank is generally pretty good. If you get to a million rank book, that's about 12 times per year ish. It sells about 12 times per year, which is 1 time per month. So the way Scout IQ works is if the book sells faster, it thinks that it gives it bonus points. So like if it sells faster, it's going to lower the profit threshold. So if you can make $2 on a book that is going to sell like the first week, it's going to go ahead and say buy that book. But if it's a $2 profit book and it's going to take like 2 months for you to sell, Scout IQ is going to reject it. So the sales rank range go from, I think starting out it's like 1 to 125,000, and then 125,000 like 200,000.
Yeah.
They have like different rank ranges, and the slower selling the book, the more profit Scout IQ requires.
Yeah.
So if it's like 5 million plus ranked book, which I've purchased 5 million plus ranked books and sold them for thousands of dollars profit, like literally, like it's crazy. I've purchased like Jewish sets, and I'm like, there's a chance this might sell for $2,000. Do I want to invest $100 in this now for a chance to sell it next year?
Yeah.
And I did in that case, and I got a $2,000 sale.
Risk versus reward.
Exactly. So if you're going to go after the slower selling books, the higher ranked books, make sure the profit's there. And Scout IQ automatically does that for you. People always freak out, what trigger should I use? This, that. I just recommend using the default triggers, because the person who created this was a bookseller himself. And that's why I like Scout IQ over Scoutly. The person who created this was a bookseller, and they literally innovated the market. They programmed it exactly the way they wanted it for their business. And so the default triggers you're using is the triggers they use for their business. And Scoutly just copied everything Scout IQ did.
They really did.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Scoutly do they even sell books, or they're just like a developer in another country?
Yeah, they're a developer in another country, and they did a great job of just copying everything, even the color scheme. I mean, they're borderline like it's illegal kind of what they did. But I mean, I won't rip on them too hard. But they have copycat tactics that I'm not too fond of.
So again, just to recap, sales rank is a snapshot in time. Okay, that's how this book is selling, or any item on Amazon right now. Okay, eScore is how many days there's been at least one sale in a 180-day period.
Yep.
So over a 60.
I didn't really get into
period.
eScore too much. I talked more about sales rank. Generally, you hear people talk about sales rank more, but eScore is actually a better metric.
Way better, way better. And you know, sales rank is like what's happening right now. Like, and keep in mind, I know Caleb Roth, the original founder of Scout IQ.
Yep.
He always said like a book could be ranked like 1 million, 2 million ranked, but if it sells, that rank could drop right down to 100,000.
Generally, when a book sells, it does go down to 100,000. So if yesterday it was 5 million, if you get a sale, it temporarily goes, the sales rank goes down to 100,000, but then it quickly goes back up. So at any point in time, a book can go back down to 100,000, which is why sales rank is kind of confusing. You're like, oh, the sales rank of this book's 100,000. Well, yeah, it's only sold once in the past year. You know, you don't really know the full story when you look at the sales rank. It is literally a screenshot in time.
A lot of people lose money selling books, beginners, because they listen to, and I guess maybe it's our fault a little bit because we give the general rule like stay under 1 million.
I just said that.
Rank.
I literally just said stay under 1 million, but you don't know the story behind the book. That's why eScore is a little bit better of a metric.
So the funny thing is, actually, one of our coaches who's in my membership site, Reselling Freedom, you might have heard about it. If not, you can check it out. We do private coaching. We have community calls. We have over 300 members. One of our coaches, Joji, actually one of your good friends, Joji Davenport, definitely check him out. He's doing $10,000 to $20,000 a month selling textbooks, and he does it all from home. So he has a strategy where he buys off Amazon, sells on Amazon. He does eBay to Amazon flips. Mostly all of his books are over 1 million ranked.
I know.
It's all super high ranked books. The reason I share that is the advice we're giving you is good, but it's like there's exceptions to the rules. But as a beginner, the reason we're sharing this with you is when you're scanning books, scan another book for me if you could, please.
Yes, sir.
Avery, when we're scanning books, you don't want to live and die just based on what the profit is, okay?
So I purposely scanned that one because I knew that it was going to be a higher ranked book and it's going to reject it. You guys see it's $3 profit there, but it's 1.3 million ranked, so it doesn't really sell that often. I would actually pick that book up personally. That's not terrible. 21 eScore is pretty good, but let's scan another one here.
And what does 21 eScore mean?
So this has 146 eScore. So what that means is over the last 6 months, this book has had at least 146 days with at least one sale. So theoretically, it could have sold for 150 plus times. It just means if there is a day where a sale or 2 or 10 occur, that counts as one. So an eScore tells you how many days over the last 180 did at least one sale occur. 146 is a pretty good eScore.
So when someone's at a thrift store or a library sale, and we'll be talking about that in day number 4, how to start finding books. Let's just pretend we're at a thrift store. Obviously, you're not going to be. I would love to go to a thrift store with just a table full of books that were all profitable. But let's just play a game here. Let's say we're at the thrift store. Find a book and scan it. Walk through the process. Like, what are you thinking in your mind when you're scanning an item? Like, how does this all come together? Because this is confusing. There's so many numbers on here.
Yeah. So immediately I just scanned a book. I see the sales ranks 891. And as a beginner, what you're going to want to do is obviously look at the profit. Is it profitable? But don't get too excited about that. This is just a number on the screen.
But that says 0. You paid 0? What if you're paying $3.99 for it?
You can easily toggle that by clicking on that, and you can increase the price. Let's say we paid $1.50 for this book. Would it be worth it? If I spend $1.50, looks like I'm going to get about $5.31 back. Now, Mom, if you're watching this is where I might lose some people. There's this orange box going around. If you don't follow me here, it's okay, but I'm going to put this out there because I wish I would have known
along, Mom.
From day one. Mom, keep track. This orange box will jump around. As you scan different books, it's going to go like this, this, this. This orange box is comparing to different prices.
Wait, the orange box moves around based on the item?
Exactly. Yeah, Steve didn't even know this. But you can see down here, you got merchant fulfilled. These are all your merchant fulfilled offers. These are all your FBA offers. It feels like
it's a lot.
Back in high school class again. But just know that basically the creator of this app made this orange box jump around to compare to different prices. So if the book is a very fast selling book, it thinks you might be able to price it higher and get more profit. So it's going to compare to a higher price. Versus if it's a very slow selling book, it's going to assume worst case scenario. This book, the lowest price is $12.71. Now, we both know for a fact that we can sell this for at least $17 because that's the lowest FBA offer. That's the buy box.
How do you know it's the lowest FBA offer though?
So down here you have the used buy box. Most of the time as an FBA seller, you should be comparing to this price here. This price is going to tell you the lowest prime price, which is the buy box price. Most of the time, the buy box price is the lowest prime price.
What's the buy box mean for someone who doesn't know?
So the buy box is, just imagine you walk into a store and you have a bunch of socks that you can buy, right? There's a bunch of socks in a row. Are you going to get the sock in the very end or the very front?
I don't know. It depends.
You're probably going to grab the sock in the front and not be a weirdo and grab the sock in the very
I like
end.
my socks in the back.
I mean, if you're
Make sure
buying,
no one put them on their feet.
if you're buying groceries or something, you might buy the celery in the back, but generally you're going to buy the very first item in the front. So on Amazon, the way it works is you go to an Amazon page. We could actually probably put this up there. There's this little box called a buy box, and it's going to show you a price in an Amazon seller. Now, if you're brand new to selling on Amazon and you've been an Amazon customer, you probably didn't realize that Amazon made you purchase from one seller in particular. Amazon tries to make you buy from the customer that has the fastest shipping and the lowest price. And so our goal is to teach you how to send your books in to have fast shipping and a low price. And because of that combination of fast shipping and low price, you can actually price your books higher than a lot of the competition. Like if Steve's selling this book and I'm selling this book and I can ship it to you in 2 days and Steve's gonna take 7 days plus, Amazon's gonna give me the priority. Well, how can you get 2-day shipping? You do FBA. If you send all your items to FBA, Amazon's going to have that little prime check and they're gonna allow you to have 2-day shipping. So I know it sounds like extremely complicated, but Scout IQ factors in all this information and they know that the used buy box is at a certain price. And so instead of comparing to $12.71, which a lot of people would do, they would look the price up on Amazon. They'd be like, oh, this is going for $12.71 and this one's going for $13.90. But we know we can price it for $16.86 because that's the used buy box. So Scout IQ does a lot of thinking for you, so you should really pay attention to that orange box.
So right now, wherever the orange box is, and again, I'm playing beginner to help everybody out, that is showing us that it's pricing it at $17.98. So it thinks we can sell it the same price as Amazon?
So what it's going to do, actually, this is really cool. It's going to shout out Caleb Roth for programming it this way. It compares to the Amazon price, but it actually assumes that we are going to sell it for 10% less than Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I actually didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So if we go to profit here, you can see what price it's comparing to. You see how it says $16.18?
Oh.
Amazon's $17.98. It's actually taking 10% of $17.98, which should be $1.79 or $1.80, and it's subtracting that from $17.98, which is $16.18. And so it assumes you can sell it for $16.18, which is 10% less than Amazon. And so it never assumes you can sell the book for more than Amazon. So this app's doing a lot of consideration for you as you're scanning.
So let's scan another item. So I scan the item, and right off the bat, I see a bunch of things. I see, let's just pretend I paid, let's change the price. Let's say I paid, I don't know, $4, right? Some of these thrift stores are crazy. Yeah. So it's telling me I can make $30.28, even though it's a 2.6 million rank. It has no e-score. So what does that mean when there's just a dash right there?
That just means it wasn't able to retrieve the data from Amazon. It doesn't mean it doesn't have an e-score. If it doesn't have an e-score, it'll say 0 if it hasn't sold. And 0 is worse than the dash line. The dash line is like the app saying we didn't have enough data. 0 is saying we know for sure it didn't sell over the last 6 months.
So how does it know if I'm selling the book as used or new? Because obviously I'm selling my books as used, and it's like showing Amazon at $54.66. Wouldn't Amazon be selling it new? How am I going to price a used book the same as a new book?
Yeah, so Scout IQ always assumes you're selling as used.
Oh,
and if you look,
okay.
this is a very special example where the used price is actually higher than the new price.
Oh, interesting.
So the used Amazon sellers are selling their books for more than Amazon. My guess is they're not selling their books because they're priced too high. Amazon themselves are selling this book for $54, and there's used offers on the listing for $83. Very low chance these people are actually getting sales. Scout IQ is smart enough to say, hey, look, we're going to compare it to 10% below Amazon because we don't think you can sell it for more. and they're not going to compare to the low used offers. That's why it's important to use an app that can do thinking for you.
So what does this mean? Like, this always confused me. It says all, then FBA, then all again, and why is there 2 different alls and 2 different FBAs? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so if you look, there's 4 columns. The 2 columns on the left are for used offers. The 2 columns on the right are for new offers. And 1 column.
Oh, it says right there, 5 used offers and then 12 new. Oh, interesting.
And then,
gotcha.
These apps don't always have enough data because you have to understand that Amazon is in the business of selling books and items for cheap, fast shipping. Amazon cares about making the customer happy. They don't care about us making profit. And we'll get more into this later.
Yeah.
Actually, like with Go-To-Lister, this has made me angry because I wish, I want to make more profit. I want to make you guys more profit. But these apps don't always have all the information necessary because Amazon hides some of the prices from us. And the reason why they do that is they don't want us to have the most intelligent software, because if we have the most intelligent software, we'll be able to price the book for exactly what we know we can sell it for. And we'll give you some tips on how to do that. But Amazon wants to keep the prices low. So sometimes they only show the lowest prices to third-party apps like this.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Now, what if there's this is a question I get all the time. What if there was let's pretend there was no barcode here. How could we scan this with the barcode scanner if there's no barcode?
So do you want me to look up the Jewish set that I sold a while back?
Yeah, whatever you'd like to do.
So you can type in, and this is a pro tip for sets of books too, because a set of books isn't going to have a barcode. Sometimes if you open up the inside cover for a set of books, it'll have what's called a set ISBN, and you can find different ISBNs on the first few pages. But let's just say you're at a library sale like I was a few years ago, and you find a set of books. So I got the Talmud 22 volume set. Here it is right here, currently 5.4 million rank. You can see it's $4,200 profit. Now, this is actually real.
You sold that book?
Yeah, I sold this
for how much?
$2,000.
Chump change.
I know, right? I looked at the Keepa, which, if you want to learn more about Keepa, I would recommend Joji Davenport.
Yeah.
He's got some great Keepa videos. Basically, Keepa's like, we talked about eScore. If an eScore is 2, it's sold 2 times over the last 180 days. Keepa, you can see exactly what the book sold for, or at least make a very educated guess. And so I was at this library sale a few years ago. I manually typed in the book like I did just there, and I purchased this for $150. I ended up selling it for $2,000. Chump change, because I could have probably sold it for $3,000 or $4,000. But definitely use that. We're going to show you a lot of techniques. Pro tip, like sneak peek into the next section. Are we going to talk about where to find books right now?
That's in day 4.
Okay.
Our next day. We're going to really cover our top 5 ways to find books.
Little teaser, booksalefinder.com is a great place to go for library sales. After the library sale's over with, all the scanners have already looked at all the books. There's lots of competition out there. Look at the books without barcodes. If you manually look up all the books without barcodes, there's a ton of profit out there because people are too lazy to do it.
Yeah, here's a good tip. If you hit scan right here,
this is awesome.
You see how it's on the barcode right now. This will allow you to obviously scan the barcode like that. But let's pretend there's no barcode. Hit scan, then hit ISBN in the middle. And then you want to find the ISBN. Which one is there? Because there's 2 of them. Which one should people choose?
In this case, I don't know. I would just scan the top one. It's probably a teacher edition versus student edition, so it'll tell you after you scan it.
Yeah, for some reason it's not finding anything, and it keeps...
Scan this one here.
Oh, so you can just do the top numbers?
Yeah.
It's not... Have you connected? Maybe am I logged out or something? Did I miss?
You have an old version of the app, maybe.
For some reason, it's not working. But essentially, let me try one more. For some reason, it's being a little weird. But
see if I can get it going.
Yeah, I haven't updated my app in a little bit.
I did. Let's see if I can get this.
Oh, I got it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got it. So you just go to ISBN and then go right over it like that, and it'll look it up. And then the one thing about Scout IQ, I'm going to trash Scout IQ for this. Their title thing is terrible. Like, just remove it. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it's just...
I actually got it to work last night for the first time in like 5 years.
Like, what is this? Like, guys, just take it off your app if it doesn't work. Like,
scan it again.
Like, seriously. All right, so now that we've discussed how to analyze books, we discussed setting up your barcode. One thing I do want to mention as well is going into Amazon's the Amazon Seller app, because if you don't have Scout IQ, maybe you're on a budget and you don't want to use it, you can you use a barcode scanner with Amazon Seller app?
You can.
I've never used it because it was
You can-
always
like
slow.
I
It
said,
always like stops halfway.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Like I said, this just thinks it's a keyboard, so
Yeah.
it'll enter in any app. You could literally open Tinder and use it and scan messages.
Whoa.
This will happen. You'll accidentally text your friends sometimes ISBN numbers because you'll scan it, and if you have a text message open, it'll send your friend a number and delete it. So with the Amazon Seller app, I mean, I would just use it the way Mama Profit does.
Yeah, so you can hit the little camera in the top right-hand corner, and there's a couple ways you can do this. One, you could actually scan the cover.
That's the best.
Just like that. You see how it's kind of funky? It's like not even picking it up, which is really weird. Let's try another one. Just not perfect. Okay, I got that one to scan. And you have to find the listing. One thing to mention as well is when you're scanning books, you want to tell people about what happens when like multiple listings come up for one item. Like this one, you see how there's all these different listings?
Yeah.
Like you have to make sure you're choosing the correct listing, right?
Yep, and that's the cool thing about Scout IQ is Scout IQ automatically does that for you most of the time. But if there are multiple listings like that, I always just choose the one with the lower sales rank because the one with the lower sales rank sells more often. I don't care if the price is higher for one than the other. Always go with the faster selling book.
And here's a great tip. All right, this will make you a lot of money. So a lot of people, when you're selling on Amazon, some items will be restricted. What does that mean? That means that you can't sell it until you get ungated or you get an invoice to sell it. Unfortunately, with books now, they don't let you really get ungated except for like maybe a couple exceptions.
Yeah, there's brands like American Girl Doll, Lego, like any type of brand you can get ungated in, but there's 3 brands,
categories,
publishers that you can't.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Popular Textbooks and Pearson, Cengage, McGraw-Hill. There's so many counterfeits in the market. We'll show you guys what a counterfeit book looks like later. But Amazon realized so many of us were inadvertently, on accident, selling counterfeit books. So they've just restricted all new sellers from selling some of the most profitable textbooks on Amazon. You'll find $200 profit textbooks and you won't be able to sell it.
So a great tip is like for this one, for example, if I was able to get this for like I don't know, let's just even say $3. This thing would make 29, almost $30 profit. Look at it, it's a 641,000 rank. The merchant to FBA is pretty close. Like I would make $30 profit, but guess what? I can't sell it. So most people, they leave it behind. Big mistake. Go to restrictedinventory.com. This is actually a service that Avery created how many years ago?
Almost 4 years now.
Yeah, so you could send it to Restricted Inventory, their company, and they have a whole software dashboard and everything, and they'll split the profits with you. It's not worth it if it's just a couple bucks profit. Honestly, I'm sorry. I wouldn't send books to you.
Yeah, no,
it's
for
not
sure.
worth your time.
And real quick, go back to Scout IQ real quick because you have the updated version I saw. And scan this, I think it was this book here.
It's being weird. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so this is a perfect example. So on this book here, you see Sell Back Your Book, which you should always look at that, says 0.
What does that mean? Sell back your book.
Sell Back Your Book is a website where they will buy your books for cash. So like, let's say you scan a book. There was a book earlier I scanned. I think it was this one. Sell Back Your Book's offering $11 for this book.
Where do you see that?
Right here, this little green right here. If you look on the screen, it says
gotcha.
11.05. They're actually going to pay you $11 cash. So if you can pick this up for $2, you can make $8 profit just like that.
You just send it to them, they just pay you?
Yeah, you click on add to cart here, and it's going to have you log in and sell back your book. Boom.
Oh.
And you can add books that way. Same exact thing with restricted inventory. You can click on the, restricted inventory. You would make $14 if you sent it to us. And so if you can't sell this book and you would rather make $14, that's an estimated profit if the book sells for that price. Restricted inventory does not purchase your books. They sell your books for you, which is actually better because on a lot of these textbooks, like for example, on this one, Sell Back Your Book's paying 0, but restricted inventory, if it sells, is going to pay you $16. So it's consignment service. Basically, we allow you to use our ungated accounts. We check for counterfeit books. We do all the processing of books. We prep the books for free. All we ask is you cover shipping to us. So restricted inventory really allows you to make money on books that you would otherwise leave on the shelf. And quick story about that, I was out teaching my mom how to sell books, and she's like,
oh, I can't make money on these because they're restricted.
And I'm like, Mom, do you know my business? I'd been making a living from doing this business for the last 2 years. Now I'm teaching my mom how to sell books, and she doesn't even realize that her son is the owner of restrictedinventory.com, and she wasn't sending me the books. So that's a funny story about that. So just know there's a lot going on with this app. And Scout IQ is great because it shows you how much profit you can make with Amazon. If you choose to send a Sell Back Your Book, if you're restricted, you can send a restricted inventory. There's also this bookshelf you can click on here. All these books to the right, or I guess it would be to the left of live. Click on that. That'll show you all the vendors that are offering money for the books. So like Pals, Velour, all these different things. You got to prove you're not a robot. But anyway, that's another good way to do it too. So if you click on that, it'll show you, how much money a vendor's paying for it. So maybe you can make $10 on Amazon, but maybe a vendor's going to pay you $3.
Yeah.
And my opinion is it's better to make a nickel today than a dime tomorrow in this business, because you never know what's going to happen.
Another tip is if you can't figure out how to scan the barcode, you could always type in the title of the book into Amazon. Obviously my keyboard's gone because I'm using the app. So you could disconnect your barcode scanner and you could type it in. You could also obviously take a picture of this. We talked about a little bit. But it's, when it comes to scanning books, it's all about speed. You want to scan fast. 90% plus of the books are going to be worthless, trash. But that's why you're using this technology to filter through the books as fast as possible. And
should I show them the speed technique real quick?
Sure.
All right, yeah. So I'm going to have Zach follow me. Real quick, guys. We're showing you a lot in this video. Scout IQ is a complex app, but the paradox is it's complex to make it simple for you. So it does all this crazy thinking for you, and it comes down to a decision: green or red. You should buy it or you shouldn't. You shouldn't 100% listen to every green, and you shouldn't 100% listen to every red.
I always check Amazon Seller app before I leave the store.
100%. Yeah, always double check.
Every.
Make sure you're not restricted. Do everything you need to do to ensure it's actually a good book. But I would definitely recommend come back and watch this video again, this specific video, after your first month or two of selling books, because you're going to hear everything we just said, which sounded like gibberish, and it's all going to make sense to you. And a lot of it won't make sense today, like the orange box jumping around with the buy boxes. You'll be like, what the heck is that? Come back in a month and you'll love watching this video. Anyway, follow me real quick. Ooh, we're going to go in here. And I want to show you this because this is the difference between you scanning, let's say, 20 books per hour and 2,000 books per hour. If you scan 2,000 books per hour, definitely tag me. I've never done that. I've scanned, I think, 1,200 or 1,500 is my record. You have to be going fast. But remember, speed is the name of the game. So if you're doing this, you're not going to make any money. You see how slow that was? I was going back and forth. What you want to do is keep the books on the shelf here. And I saw a YouTuber do this years ago, and it literally revolutionized the way I thought about scanning books. And this is huge, guys. It's so simple, but really pay attention here. I'm only pulling it out far enough to scan the barcode, and I can go again, and I can go again, again. And the whole time, Scout IQ is going. This is actually how I scan. I leave Scout IQ on the screen there on the shelf, and I just scan as fast as I can. If it's red, I know to keep going on. Steve doesn't have very many unprofitable books in his house, but you can see sales rank is 7.
You know we do.
I would even pick up that book if it was free. That's $1 buy cost. Not bad. But yeah, you basically just scan as fast as you can. You can scan 500 plus books per hour with that method.
So that's how it's done. Hopefully everybody got a lot of value in this video. So in the next video, we're actually going to be discussing how to find books, how to source. We're going to talk about a bunch of different places, obviously thrift stores, but there's a lot of, we probably have like 20, 30 different techniques to find books. We're going to share our top 5 for now. So take action. Download Scout IQ. We'll put a link down below. Start playing around, have some fun. And just keep practicing, right? Practice makes perfect in this business. It's gonna be a little challenging in the beginning. Play around the Amazon Seller app. Always check out with the Amazon Seller app. Like, don't leave the store, the library sale, whatever, without checking to make sure you're not restricted. Make sure, another big thing I didn't mention is if the merchants are super duper low and FBA is super duper high, don't always just trust what it says, because that's a recipe for price tanking. We'll talk more about that when we're listing and pricing and stuff. But we'll see you in day number 4 to start sourcing some books and whatnot. But with that being said, much love. See ya.
Peace out, guys.